Alright, welcome back for another exciting 300 blackout subsonic bullet testing video. We've got a big list of bullets, 20 bullets that we're testing in 300 blackout for subsonic use, for accuracy, working up some loads with some different powders. This is our fourth or fifth bullet that we're testing. It is going to be the Hornady 208 grain AMAX. Let's have a quick up close look at this guy, right? So it's a tipped match bullet. AMAXs have been around a while and generally do a very, very nice job. This bullet, as far as I know, is being replaced with the 208 grain ELD match, which we have already tested that bullet to great success, and we are going to test this guy. We're going to use different powders. So there's actually three Hornady bullets that are very similar. There's the ELD match, this 208 grain AMAX, and then there's also a 208 grain match, which is an open tip match, hollow point boat tail type of match bullet. So all three of these guys, we're going to try to hit different powders between each one. So, if you're shooting the AMAX like we're shooting today, but you're looking to shoot a different powder, you should be able to go check out that either the ELD video or the match video to cover at least the powders I'm testing. We've got 6 of them. Today's powders with the AMAX are Alliant Reloader 7 and Winchester 296. We've got 2 test guns. So all these bullet testing videos, well, I'll have links up here for the to get to the playlist. That's the best way to navigate this. There's a playlist, an overall playlist for 300 blackout that goes all the way back to when we first started. We're up to like 25 episodes, and there's another playlist just for bullet testing that starts with an intro video and then starts with the bullet testing videos. The intro video covers the guns we're going to test with. We've got an 8.5 inch barrel and a 16 inch barrel, both pistol gas and carbine gas. So we've got 2 test guns. We're going to do 2 test powders, and we've got a box of 100 bullets. So we've got to be a little bit stingy. Step number 1 is to go out and shoot 5 rounds of each combination in each gun. So I have already got these guys loaded up right here. The purpose of these first 20 loads is, mainly to get that crude velocity data. These are big steps, half grain jumps between each shot. So we should get a good map of what sort of velocities we're seeing with the powders, and then we'll come back to the bench, choose some final test loads, and then load up some 5-shot groups and shoot suppressed and all of that sort of crap. But for step 1 here, we've got our first 20 rounds for testing velocity, making sure they fly okay, and seeing how they function in the gun. So let's go ahead and just get to it. Alright, so we're going to start out with our 16 inch barrel. So we've only got 1 load per charge, so we're going to be loading these one at a time in the magazine. Checking a couple things. We want to check function. Does it eject the brass? Does it lock the bolt back? That sort of crap. The other is the holes in the paper. Are they good and round? Or, are the bullets flying sideways? And the third is velocity. Of course, we're gathering up velocity data with our chronograph as we go along. So we're going to start out 16 inch barrel, Winchester 296. This is 9.5 grains. Did not lock the bolt back. Alright, so at least it did eject the brass, but no bolt lock back. Not totally surprising, right? The carbine gas has a difficult time with these faster powders. So, alright. Next up is IMR 4198. No, it's not. Next up is Reloader 7. And this guy might give us some better function. Alright, first up is 12 grains. Much better. Alright, so this last charge didn't lock the bolt back, but that's okay. It was down at 972 feet per second. All 4 other charges locked it back okay, so that's good to go. Alright, let me get swapped out for the 8.5 inch gun, and we'll see how those do. Alright, so we've switched over to our 8.5 inch barrel. You know, this guy has pistol gas system, so we should see better function than our 16 inch, you know, which has carbine gas. Starting out, Winchester 296, first charge is 10 grains. Alright, so this last one didn't lock the bolt back, but it was all the way down at 862 feet per second, so that's no surprise. So good function from Winchester 296. Next is Reloader 7. Our first charge is 12.5 grains. Okay, all of our bullet holes look great. Function with Reloader 7 was outstanding, all the way down to 982 feet per second. Can't beat that. So as far as the carbine length gas system goes, 296 and Reloader 7 both did a great job. Alright, let's get inside, let's make some charts, let's try and figure out some velocity data and come up with some loads to test with the suppressor. Alright, so it is time to pick some loads. I've charted our velocities. Let's have a look at some charts. First is our, the order in which we shot 16-inch barrel Winchester 296. Pretty good looking chart, right? Nothing crazy. Pretty close to the trend line there. Alright, so I've been, in the previous bullet testing videos, I've been choosing charges that were a little bit too high. So I'm gonna err on the low side on here. I'm gonna go 8.5, 8.7, and 8.9. So 8.9, the chart is telling us that that's going to be just a little over 1,050 feet per second. So if we get a little bit of gain from the suppressor and stuff, we should still be okay. All right. Yeah, 8.5, 8.7, and 8.9. Next, 16-inch barrel with Reloader 7. Yeah, another decent looking chart. They laid in there pretty decent. 10.2, 10.4, and 10.6 are the loads I'm going to choose. And so we're choosing these 3 loads. We're going to load 5-round groups of each of these. So, these are kind of our final test loads. All right, next chart is 8.5-inch barrel with Winchester 296. This guy, let's do 8.7, 8.9, and 9.1. Is that too low? Nah, whatever. Yeah, we'll do that. 8.7, 8.9, and 9.1. And our last guy was 8.5-inch Reloader 7. This chart's a little bit goofy. So some of our yeah, you know, they just didn't lay in there quite as nicely as I would have liked. So let's do 10.7, 10.9, and 11.1. Yep, that should make for some good loads. Was there something? There was something I wanted to mention. Oh, overall length. I don't think I told you guys the overall length we're shooting earlier. 2.250. That's straight out of the Hornady manual. That's what they recommend for these bullets. So that's what we're shooting. All right, I got a bunch of loading to do, so I'll talk to you guys here in a few. So I'm just finishing up, seating the last few bullets here. For once, it's actually beautiful outside. I think we've got enough daylight left to get out there and shoot these right now. So let's get to it. All right, time to see if our AMAXs are going to shoot. We're going to start off with a 16-inch gun. And the first load is Winchester 296, starting at 8.5 grains. We're at about 75 yards. And starting on the top row on the left. I believe that was a failure to feed, yeah. Yep, that one didn't feed either. Yeah, the rounds got a little bit crossed up in the magazine. So that might have been partially my fault, but I think it's a legit failure. I can just tell if it is going to cycle the action, it's going to be just barely. Eh, that one did, it looks like. Alright, did not lock the bolt back. Well, that's a good looking group. It's a very good start. Okay, 8.7 grains is next. Nope, empty chamber. Yeah, that guy only fed part of the way. Tell you, it's unfortunate this powder won't run the gun because, man, those are some good looking groups. Really nice groups. Okay, 8.9 grains. Maybe this will get us over the hump and get it to start functioning. Nope, no such luck. Okay, next up is reloader 7. First charge is 10.2 grains. I expect to see some better function here. Alright, pretty good group, good function. Velocity a little bit low, but that's perfect. .4 grains. Good function, good velocity, good group. Man, really nice. All right, 10.6 grains. Outstanding. All right, let's get switched out to the 8-inch or 8.5-inch gun and see if it shoots as well. We can only hope. All right, over to our 8.5-inch barrel. Can you guys still see okay? It kind of got dark on me. The sun went behind the hill and man, got dark fast. All right, our first, let's see, where are we at? Winchester 296, 8.7 grains. I expect no function issues at all out of this gun, so we shall see. All right, nice start. Pretty good group. Velocity a little bit low, but that's good. That's where we should be, right? We got 2 higher charges to shoot still. All right. Okay, next is 8.9 grains. Man, that was nice all around. All right, 9.1 grains. Looks like velocity is going to be just about perfect for this guy. Man, that's funny how accuracy just fell apart right there. All right, on to reloader 7. First charge is 10.7 grains. $10.9. All right, to finish things up, 11.1 grains of Reloader 7. Velocity should be just about right on this guy as well. Boy, that's probably going to be our winner right there. Good velocity, nice group, good function. All right, let's get back to the bench, chart the velocity for these, have a look at the groups, and declare a winner. Alright, so the good old AMAX did pretty darn well for itself. First of all, let's look at some updated charts. What's first? Alright, no, that we don't want the 8.5 inch barrel, we want the 16-inch barrel with Winchester 296. There it is. Alright. There was indeed a velocity bump. Right, so our 15 new shots are a little higher than that original trend, so that was good. We know our velocity though, right? That our middle load of 8.7 grains was an average of 1,062 feet per second, so that was outstanding. The problem was function. You know, if you've got a 16-inch pistol gas gun, it'd be great. But for the carbine gas, it just didn't run the gun very well. We didn't get bolt lock back on any of our test rounds, and during the actual, yeah, same thing during the with the suppressor, we weren't getting bolt lock back. So Winchester 296 is a bit of a loser for the carbine gas. All right, next is 16-inch. Reloader 7. Once again, seems like we did get that little bit of velocity increase like we were anticipating, but we were right on the money with our velocities. Our middle charge of 10.4 grains was 1,043 feet per second, so it was good. All three loads ran the gun just fine. So yeah, we were right there in the right velocity area, and we had just the right yeah, it functioned the gun just fine as well. Alright, now to the 8.5 inch barrel. Let's see, 8.5 inch Winchester 296. There they are. I'll tell you what, I'm just so impressed by Winchester 296. As this bullet test series goes along, it just continues to be an outstanding powder as far as consistent velocities, you know, low, small standard deviation. It's just a pretty darn good powder. So with the 8.5-inch gun, it ran perfectly with and without the suppressor. I guess without the suppressor, it didn't lock the bolt back, but we were way down there, like 862 feet per second, and didn't lock the bolt back, but nobody gives a crap. That doesn't matter. Where it mattered, it ran the gun great. And we were pretty darn close on velocity. Our highest charge of 9.1 grains was an average of 1,040 feet per second. So we were a little bit under it, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, our last chart. 8.5-inch Reloader 7. Ugh. Reloader 7 always just ends up... Reloader 7 and IMR 4227. Those two powders. Just, man... They always seem to be disappointing. This one, just looking at that graph, like that's a lot of extreme spread. But, you know, whatever. We were in the right area though. For one, the powder ran the gun just fine. The groups were pretty darn good too. But velocity was good to go. Our highest charge of 11.1 grains was an average of 1,066 feet per second. So, you know, 11 grains flat, like 11.0 might be the preferred charge, but our 11.1 ran the gun pretty darn well. Okay, so good to go with velocities. Sad to see this AMAX go. Right, as far as I know, it's been discontinued and it's being replaced with the 208 grain ELD match, which is a good shooting bullet, but it's a couple cents each more expensive, and for our purposes in 300 blackout, we don't need that fancy tip. These were doing just fine. But alright, let's look at some groups. Let's start with our 16-inch gun. There it is. Boy, man, Winchester 296 just shoots lights out. Lights out. Outstanding groups, but it didn't run the gun for crap. So as good as they are, as sexy as it is, we've got to just forget about it. But, you know, Reloader 7 down there, it's not like it's, you know, ugly or anything. Those are pretty darn good groups. Our highest charge was our best group, I think. I didn't measure these, but that's about a 1.3, 1.2 inch group, something like that. Pretty darn good. 1,081 feet per second. A little bit hot, but not too bad. We could go for this one. That would probably be the safe bet. 1,043. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take the safe option and call that our load, so it gets circled in purple. It's a good load. It'll run the gun with and without the suppressor. Shoots pretty darn nice groups, and it is worthy. It is most certainly worthy. Alright, 8.5 inch. Function's not an issue here, right? All of these ran well. All of them ran well without the suppressor. So it's purely all about group size. Boy, Winchester 296 was looking like it was going to be the one, but the problem is this really nice group, it's only 1,022 feet per second. Once we got up a little higher, 1,040 where we wanted to be, this happened. Crazy. Like, that's bad. So let's look at alternatives down here. Reloader 7. That's our 1,066 feet per second. That was a nice group. That was a really nice group. I'll tell you what. We'll call this one a Reloader 7 clean sweep. So it wins both. Now, we've got 20 bullets left. We only used 80 bullets in this video. So these remaining 20 bullets are being held in reserve. And once I get through all the rest of these bullet testing videos, of which there will be 20, I'm going to have some kind of roundup videos at the end where we load up a bunch of ammo from all of the winning loads and then put those against one another and put them against some factory ammo and crap like that. So that is coming. Did we cover it? I think we covered everything. Pretty good showing. Pretty darn good showing. Pretty nice performance from both powders. So yeah, this was a big success. I will see you guys next time.